exciting. My first
is
live
now starting.
radio
All attendees
show.
are in listen-only mode.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. David, and I'm here with some very, very special guests. Not least of all, Audrey Somerfield. And I tell you what, this has been, we've really, really looked forward to this. And what a good time. I tell you what, I'm going to start the recording because this is probably what we want to record from the very beginning. All right, start again. Retake. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. David, and welcome to tonight's. It's actually going to be a conference call, but you'll see the slide on the screen because that's what we do. We are building strength webinars, and I'll say a few things about ourselves, and then we'll have Ron Pruitt introduce both Audrey and Alan Ogden. So we're going to be having like a panel discussion on some of the most important aspects when it comes to health, especially when it comes to weight loss. Thank you so much for joining us. We know we've had record registration numbers for this presentation, so obviously this is a very, very important topic to many, many people. That's me. If you're on the computer screen, that's what I look like, and I'm the co-founder of Building Strength Webinars. And our goal, I'm just going to quickly say a few things about us, is to help people understand what really matters where health is concerned, and sometimes why we lose our health. And if you think about it, there's a lot of information out there. You can go on the internet and type in things like weight loss, nutrition, and you get a lot of information. The problem is, how do you sift what is valuable from what is not so valuable? How do you make sense of it all? Which ones do you trust? Which speakers do you trust? And so our goal has always been to find the fundamentals, what really matters, how you can understand and how you can apply what is valuable. And of course, the second point is to point you to the best resources, because everybody knows exercise is important. Everybody knows sleep is important. Everybody knows that omega-3 fatty acids are important. Where do you find the best resources for these things? And that is why we do what we do. And we've been doing this now for about 4 years. And it's a tremendous honor to have to work with Visalus and, of course, Audrey Somerfield, who has really spearheaded their product line and their educational training programs. So it's really, again, a great honor. And as I mentioned before, Ron Pruitt will be introducing her and our other guests tonight. And that's our vision in front of you, to be recognized as a trusted resource for obtaining valuable and practical information related to health, strength, and human effectiveness. All right. Remember, this is not a substitute for your doctor's medical attention. Now, there are things that you can do. There are things that your doctor can do. Don't mix them up. This is to help you take care of your health. Let your doctor take care of your disease. So if you are on any medical treatment or medical programs, please check with your doctor before you make any drastic changes. And we're going to get right into this. Just before I hand over to Ron, just wanted to mention that we've had Dr. Carrie Sauter talk about what's wrong out there with the diets and how to make intelligent decisions about the right diet. And of course, Audrey is going to help inform us even further where that is concerned. So Ron, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. David. Hey, listen, we're in for an exciting evening. We got some really knowledgeable people. This is Ron Pruitt from Houston, Texas, 2-star ambassador in Visalus, and I'm so happy to be here and have the opportunity to introduce the people that we're going to have on the line. One person I want to introduce is Alan Ogden. Alan Ogden is a gentleman that I met that lives in BC, Canada. He is the youngest of 5 boys out of his family. He's an entrepreneur at heart. He has a very lengthy academic background. One of the things that he did in his early age, he started work at 11 years old, and he was mentored by someone with a pharmacy, so that was his direction as he was going up through life. And he had Bachelor of Science in a pharmacy. He owned 2 pharmacies, Certificate of Geriatric Pharmacy, U of A, University of Denver, health and wellness trainer, vibrational medicine, body energy, spiritualist, member of the American Society of I don't know what it is, pharmacology, pharmacology, but he's a great guy. He's a professional trader, level 1, level 2, and I know he's been running around all over the country helping promote this Mars and Venus and lots of things out there, but I know the guy really knows about wellness, and that's the thing that's so important about this. And you know, and that's Alan Ogden, and I think we all know who else is on the phone line with us, because most of us on this webinar right now is somehow related to this great and fantastic company that we know of as Visalus, and it gives me absolute pleasure. We all know her very, very well, to introduce on our phone tonight a young lady that we could not do this without. There's just no way. Audrey Somerfield is on the phone with us tonight, and she, as everyone knows, that she heads up our global product development for Visalus Sciences, and she manages the regulatory R&D, medical advisory board, microbiologists, and all the other team members. She knows her stuff. She's very important. And one thing that's really important that some people might not know on this line is, you know, prior to Visalus Sciences, she managed over 2,800 SKUs globally for a little company called Herbalife International. Some of you might have heard of it. It's about a $2 billion or more per year company now. And she's been in product development and product marketing and education for over 20 years now, including, you know, she's worked for brands and companies like Procter & Gamble, Oil of Olay, Johnson & Johnson, Neutrogena, Mylana, Tylenol, a lot of new products out there. And most recently, she served as a vice president of global product marketing for Herbalife International. And again, it's over a $2 billion company that spans over 59 countries. And at Herbalife, she was responsible for product development and launch strategy and working with global licensing, research and development, regulatory teams, creating sales and marketing tools, and conducting product trainings before thousands of distributors. I have had the absolute pleasure of being able to meet Audrey Somerfield and have some talks with Audrey, and then also she has come out to help us one time in Corpus Christi. She is, in my vision, in my view, an irreplaceable part of this entire team of this company that we're involved with. So Dr. Dave, Alan Ogden, Audrey Somerfield, I welcome you to this platform. We're going to have a great time. We're going to ask some questions that I know out in the field right now. Alan, I'm going to throw it back to you first and let you get this party started.
Well, thanks, Ron, and it's great to be on this call with Dr. David and Audrey and yourself, and I'll just straighten that word out for you. It's actually the American Society of Pharmacognosy. A lot of people don't know what pharmacognosy is. It's actually the precursor to medicine. And medicine actually came from plants originally, and there's still a society of people that are interested in how we can extract the most from nature and apply it to our bodies in a fashion that will give us medical type results. And so that's what that society is all about. And thank you for, when you were listing off all the things that I've done there, you didn't say, you know, like you said on the phone the other night, it sounds like you're educated beyond your intelligence. And that might be true. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's great to be on this call. I know Audrey's the expert in a lot of products. I've worked with protein and protein products now since 1978. So when I went to university, I had an amazing experience there with a professor who was dedicated to examining individual amino acids and proteins for their benefit in the body and how they work together. And so this has been an area of interest to me for many, many years. He had said back then, and you know, this was really far out at the time when he said this, but he had said to us, he'd made this assertion to us that we didn't know very much about protein. We didn't know much about amino acids. It was just something we ate. We didn't even know how much we needed to eat in a day. And he had said to us, I'm going to tell you that in my opinion, that's his opinion, that amino acid and proteins are going to be the medicines of the future. We're going to discover things about protein and amino acid that's going to revolutionize how we practice medicine. And I really feel that we're at that place. When we start using things like soy protein that we know can reduce cholesterol and help us maintain good health, we're starting to see his vision come true. And that's why I'm so excited to be on this call tonight. Is that's my background, and talking to Audrey and letting her explain to everybody why she put these products together in the way that they were put together is going to be fabulous information for everybody. So thanks for having me on the call, and I'm going to ask a few questions as we go along, but other than that, you know, I'm really looking forward to what Audrey has to say. Thank you, Ron. Back to you.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it, and I appreciate that. I hope everybody can hear me. Audrey, I'm going to go ahead and fire away if it's okay with you.
Right,
and
fire away.
really what I want to do, Audrey, I just want to kind of, I know we have some people on the call tonight that's not involved with our company, so if you just take the time to just kind of put it in layman's terms better than I did exactly what you do for us, and I mean, I could go for hours on what you do for us, so I'm going to let you kind of minimize that and put it in layman's terms and just explain it to everyone.
All right. Well, I think you actually captured it pretty well, but my role as the head of product development and product marketing is to really understand what the needs of our consumers are and how to deliver it in a unique and better way. And then I work with our doctors and our scientists first to try and figure out what kind of product is that, what ingredients do we need to have in it. I look at a lot of competitors and make sure that our product is better. So, for example, when we went to formulate our NutriCookie, our protein and fiber cookie, we looked at 98 different brands on a spreadsheet, all their ingredients, all their claims, all their price points, and really said, how do we make it different? And I came to the scientists with ideas from what I see in the marketplace and what we see in market research and consumer surveys. And then the doctors and scientists come back with additional ideas. Then the scientists and the food formulators make a prototype, and we test it internally. And when we land on a formula that we think is really good, then I sit down with our doctors, like Dr. Seidman, and I go, is this safe? Is this something that many people can use? What contraindications or things should we know about if we put these ingredients in there? And we get information from him that sometimes makes us reformulate, sometimes it has no issue and we move forward. And once we know that the products look like they're efficacious, they taste good, they're medically sound, they're scientifically sound, we proceed to do like a test market and get consumer feedback. And only when we know we have the best product on the planet do we manufacture and ship it, at which point then we work with our manufacturers, our microbiologists, our chemists, and we formulate the product, get it into a package, get the label reviewed by our FDA attorneys, work with the FTC to make sure we're not making any illegal claims, and then we bring the product to the market. And then I get to work with my marketing team and come up with how we help it sell and what kinds of information we can provide to our promoters and to our consumers so that they know why this product is for them and why it's better. So I've really worked with a lot of people. I don't want to take credit for everything. I have an amazing team, and it takes a great team of people to bring a product to market.
So actually, what I'm hearing, Audrey, is you're not very busy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, and then I also oversee our quality program and audit our manufacturers. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't need to know about, but it happens.
No, well, I can hear.
Sorry to interject, but I have to say that. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It's fun. I got to tell you, it's fun.
Now, one of the things that we were talking about when we were all on the call together was, okay, there are lots of great nutritional weight loss products out there. And some are safe, some are not so safe, and some are effective within a couple of days and weeks. And people talk about how much they've lost weight, and that's what everybody looks at. But some of the things that you pointed out in our discussions was, which really fascinated me, was the fact that this works with the body, the way this works with the body in a way that, as you said, is safe, but as you said, is also long-term. So the body sees it as more natural, and a more natural way to lose the the pounds, and even more importantly, the inches. So another thing I would like to hear from you too is your whole thinking process about, first of all, the human body and how the human body is meant to function, especially where weight is concerned. And then these products that you just mentioned, like how you've been going around to find the best formulations for that as well.
Well, you actually nailed it. There are a lot of diets out on the marketplace, and we know that many people try many diets and fail. And there's a number of reasons why those diets fail. And some of them are based in science, and some of them are based in quality. And so one of the things when, for example, we created our nutritional shake mix is we know there are a lot of meal replacement shakes on the market, right? You can go anywhere from Slim Fast to GNC and find a protein shake. There are a lot out there. The unique difference is they're not all created equal. And to me, it really boils down to the quality of the protein. Now, there's a little fun fact, but at the age of 30, we start losing lean muscle. We lose on average 10 ounces a year, but we don't notice it because we start to gain fat. And we notice it about 10 years later when we start walking upstairs and we're getting winded and we think, oh my gosh, I'm getting older. When the reality is it's because we've lost enough lean muscle that we're not as strong as we used to be. And the number one reason people go into nursing homes 94% of the time is loss of lean muscle. So if you're not getting adequate protein in your diet and you're not getting the type that's absorbable into your muscle, your body's going to lose lean muscle. And so on a lot of diets, people will lose fat, but they also lose muscle. So for example, if you lose 10 pounds, you could lose up to 4 pounds of muscle. And if you're like most of us, me included, and you indulge over the holidays, you're going to gain some weight back. And you're not going to gain muscle back, you're going to gain fat back. And why is that important to know, and why are inches important? Well, 1 pound of muscle is the size of a very small tangerine, and it burns 50 to 70 calories a day. 1 pound of fat is the size of a very large grapefruit. That's going to burn 5 to 7. So if you're replacing tangerines with grapefruits, you're getting bigger, and you're burning less calories, which means you're slowing your metabolism, which means you're going to gain more weight. So we wanted to make sure when we created our shake that we put into it the most important proteins that we could find in the highest quality to help you build lean muscle and burn more fat. So when we do a product education training, I like to tell women, don't watch the scale. It drives me crazy. Every woman wants to watch the scale, right? They need to watch the inches. If you replace 1 grapefruit with 1 tangerine, the scale's not going to change, but your health is going to get much better because you've got more lean muscle to keep you strong and keep you functioning and keep you athletic and useful. But it's also going to help you burn more calories. So we know that inches are what matters more than pounds, and if you have a body that's full of nice lean muscle and you've got a nice BMI, you're going to live a lot healthier life. So one of the things we did is we looked at the science and determined which types of protein are best for dieters, which ones are the easiest to digest, which ones are the most absorbable into the lean muscle, and which ones are going to give you the best results and taste good, right? If you've ever had another meal replacement shake, it's like some of them can be like choking down gritty chalk. And if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to stay on the program. So we created a shake mix that we call the shake mix that tastes like a cake mix because it tastes so good. And if you stay on it, you're going to feel amazing. And then it's not just protein, but you have to add in, somebody said it earlier on the phone, amino acids and what they do for your body. They help you digest food. They help everything in your body function better. And we're learning more about those amino acids. Those are, the things that help keep us regular and protect our immune system and help us absorb our nutrition. There's so many benefits of amino acids. We made sure we had them in our shake. Plus, we added in a patented one that was proven to help you build more lean muscle. So it's not just the shake that's going to help you, though we know lowering calories, right? Meal replacements work because they do lower your calories, but we want to make sure that you don't lose lean muscle. So not all shakes are created equal. And one of my trainings, I talk about the quality of protein. And if you actually go to your grocery store or your drugstore and you look at the ingredient label, and here's where it's so funny, people think more is better. Some of the shakes will scream at you, 30, 40 grams of protein. Well, a lot of those are just cheap quality protein like gelatin in there. And some of them will add gelatin to make the thicker, creamier shake, and they'll claim it as an ingredient boost, and a gram of protein, but it's not going to build your lean muscle. It's great for your nails, great for your hair, but not your lean muscle. Some will use dehydrated milk powder. Great. Calcium's fabulous for helping you lose weight and great for bone health, but again, not the lean muscle. So when we developed our shake, it was really about making that blend of things that are going to help your heart health, your bone health, your GI health, and more importantly, your muscle health. So when you formulate a product, especially a meal replacement shake, you really have to look at a lot of different things to make sure that the whole entire body stays healthy.
Say that again. The bone health, GI health?
Our shake has got ingredients in it. They're going to help support bone health, heart health, digestive health, support your immune system, and help your body build lean muscle and burn fat.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Go ahead, Ron.
Audrey, this is Alan again. I just wanted to back up because you said a lot in that.
Yeah.
And you one of the things that I picked up, and as Ron said at the start, I'm a geriatric pharmacist, and I don't want the people on the call actually to miss your fun fact there, that 94% of people admitted to a nursing home is because they don't have enough lean muscle mass.
Yeah, and that makes you not function very well. If you ever see that older people and their arms just look so flabby and just little bits of bone, there's no muscle left. And if you don't get enough protein in your diet and the right kind of protein, your body will consume it from its own self. And you've got a lot of muscle in your body. The number one is your heart. So you really have to protect your body and think about what you're doing in your diet. And that's where, when you think about anorexics like Karen Carpenter, when she started to get her health back and gain weight, she actually died of a heart attack because her heart muscle was so weak from years of neglect in her diet.
Right. Yes. And another fact is in protein, there's three amino acids that are responsible for our immune system, completely responsible for our immunity. So that blend of proteins is so important, and I'm so excited to hear that you're putting so much emphasis on the whole body, not just about looking thin. It's about being healthy.
Right, and that's where we tell people we say a shake a day. Start your day with a shake a day. Or I'll say healthy day, shake a day. And I tell everybody, you're going to think I'm just saying this to keep you on the shake, but I mean it. You can look it up yourself. If you have a shake a day, you're going to fuel your body with great nutrition, protein that's going to help keep your blood sugar level, fiber that's going to help keep you regular and feeling full, as well as protecting your digestive tract. But more importantly, almost half of adults, 48% of adults, don't eat breakfast. And what that does is it slows your metabolism. And I have a ton of people go, I'm just not a morning person. I don't like to eat. I trained my body. And you can't train your body. It's like training your car to run without gas. You can't train it. So you have to have fuel for your body. And so, you should start with breakfast. And out of the other half that eat breakfast, 78% of our breakfast is high carb, low nutrition, muffins, bagels, pastries, toast, cereal. So for the people on the phone who wonder why after eating a bowl of cereal 2 hours later you're starving, it's because you've gotten so many carbs into your bloodstream, they've converted to sugar, your blood sugar is now out of whack and you're hungry. So if you start your day with protein, you're not going to get that reaction. And more importantly, if you have a bagel with cream cheese, an 8-ounce orange juice, a small little orange juice, and a cup of coffee with skim milk, that can be over 700 calories. Actually, it can be almost 800 depending on how much cream cheese you're using and the size of your bagel. And for women who are trying to maintain their weight or lose weight, losing weight, that's 3/4 of your calories in one meal, and that's not going to keep you satisfied. Whereas if you have a protein shake blended with milk and fruit, it's closer to 225 calories, and you're going to get a healthy 20 to 25 grams of protein, which is what nutritionists recommend for a meal. You're going to get your calcium, your fiber, your nutrients from your fruits. It's fabulous. So I tell everybody, healthy day, shake a day. Have at least one a day.
That and the other scary statistic that 1 in 4 breakfasts in America are eaten at the Golden Arches.
That's scary. That's truly scary because not only is it going to cost you more money, but it's going to give you a lot more sodium and a lot more sugar and a lot more carb and a lot less protein and a lot less nutrition.
Yeah.
Now, if I may interject, this aspect about muscle mass, I would venture to say that most people, even some nutritionists, don't really realize the importance of this. And when we started studying this, the impression was, well, the only way you build muscle is really you've got to go to the gym and have a good trainer to work with you. And recently when Barry Sears, and some of you may know who that is one of the top researchers in the world when it comes to inflammation and fat loss and all that, he said that the research is out that exercise does not as much it reduce control weight loss or pounds as much as diet. And he mentioned a couple of things there about diet. But tell us a little bit more about muscle mass. Are you saying that just a shake can actually build muscle in the body?
Well, yeah, actually, you just nailed it. Working out is fabulous for your body, and we encourage everybody to do that if we can, right? But when you look at somebody who's really sculpted and really thin and really lean, and talk to any trainer, you don't have to take my word for it, talk to any trainer, they're going to tell you that 80% of your body is diet, 20% is that lifting weights and running. So you really do need the good diet to go along with your exercise to get those kinds of benefits. Otherwise, you're not. And so it really is, you've heard the old adage, you are what you eat, and that's true. You are what you eat. And if you're not eating a healthy breakfast or a healthy meal or a healthy diet, you're not going to get that cut, ripped body. And it really is about getting adequate protein. Now, Dr. Atkins was onto something when he started his protein revolution, but he was missing, he missed a few little fun facts, which are like you do need fruits and vegetables. You do need that nutrition for health, right? There's antioxidants, there's fiber, there's all kinds of nutrients that you're going to miss if you don't have a balanced diet. But he's right in that protein breaks down in your body differently than carbs. And unfortunately, the average American diet is very high carbohydrate. Currently in America, the average person is eating 156 pounds of sugar per year. You divide that by 365, that's a cup of sugar per year. I mean, you can go to your cupboard. I love to do this with women especially and pull it out and go, this is how much sugar you're eating per day on average. And the average American on the other side only eats 28 pounds of lettuce per year, which is 1 ounce per day, which is the amount on those hamburgers we tend to eat for lunch and dinner. So it is about diet is going to help you a great deal. And so is exercise. Exercise is great for strengthening your heart muscle and other muscles. But when it comes down to it, it really is you are what you eat.
Tell us a bit more about the proteins that really help when it comes to weight loss, or the amino acids.
You want protein? Well, we'll start with proteins. Well, first of all, there are a lot of amino acids, and your body can produce 10 of the 20 amino acids. The rest has to be obtained in your food. So we know that those are going to help prevent degradation of your body's proteins, muscles, etc. So you do need amino acids in your diet, and unlike fat and starch, your body won't store excess amino acids for later use. So you have to get enough amino acids in your diet every single day. Now, the 10 that we produce are alanine, asparagine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamate acid. I like to point out glutamate acid and glutamine. Glutamate acid is actually MSG in our body. People think that MSG is bad for us. The chemically produced MSG may be bad, but MSG is found in tomatoes and asparagus and everything, and that's actually good for you. It helps with neurotransmission and other things in your body. Serine and tyrosine. Tyrosine is produced from phenylalanine, which is found commonly in a lot of proteins. So if your diet is deficient in it, you're going to need to add the tyrosine as well. Now, ones that are great, but we don't naturally make them without a lot of effort, is arginine. Now, arginine is an amazing amino acid, and arginine in your body will help keep your blood vessels dilated, open, and flexible. If you have enough arginine in your diet, you can help prevent hardening of the arteries. hard to get enough arginine. You can get it from meat, but you would have to eat 40 ounces of beef to get enough arginine to have a benefit. So we really do think you should supplement with arginine, and we've included arginine in our neuro and a little bit of all of these other amino acids into our shake. So they're going to help you build lean muscle, maintain lean muscle, and other functions in your body, including supporting heart health.
Fantastic. And this is exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. All right. Well, so we know bodybuilders are on the product. We know MMA fighters. So this is not just about weight loss for vanity reasons. This is really it cuts across the board. How can you have one product that can be all things to all men like that?
Well, you know what I think it is, and if you talk to a lot of bodybuilders, it's the quality of the protein, and that's what really matters. And so when I was saying earlier, a lot of the shakes spike their grams of protein with gelatin or dehydrated milk powder or milk protein. Those are great. They're all necessary, but they're not necessarily going to get into your lean muscle efficiently. So, for example, there's different kinds of whey. Some whey proteins are only going to be about 70% absorbable. So a lot of our athletes will go out there and start taking on more grams of protein because they think they have to get it into their body. And then it starts to become a myth. And so there's a lot of myth about how much more protein you need when you exercise. And most of it is because of how much you can absorb due to the quality of the protein. So what we're finding is a lot of our athletes are joining us because of the quality of our protein. And when they start doing their own homework and reading about the quality of our protein, they become convinced because less is more, right? If it's more absorbable, you need less of it. And so what we have in ours is 3 very unique proteins. And there was actually a clinical that was done that shows that a combination of proteins are actually better for athletes, including soy. And so a lot of our athletes and a lot of people out on the internet talk about soy. So let's start with that one first, because it seems...
Audrey, if I may interrupt here, it seems like you're cutting out. I don't know if Alan, you experienced the same thing, Ron?
No, I can
coming across.
I'm actually hearing Audrey pretty good.
All right. It could be my phone reception. I'll stand still and we'll see if that works.
Okay, it's a lot better. Okay, just wanted to mention really quickly, folks, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. We'll be reading them out as we go along. And Ron, please, if you feel that there are some issues, some aspects that you would like Audrey to cover, since most of the people on this call are with Visalus, please chime in and let us know, okay?
Well, she was absolutely headed in the right direction when she was getting ready to talk about the soy and the whey and the proteins.
Okay, before I interrupted. Okay, I apologize.
No problem. So one of the things that we're finding bodybuilders, nutritionists, healthcare practitioners, and the rest are joining us for is the unique quality of our proteins. And one of them is soy. And so we're going to address that one right up front because there's so much myth out on the internet right now. And there are other doctors out there telling you that it's going to kill you. And it makes me laugh because it's based on hype. And they're using hype to sell product. And so I like to encourage people to do their own research. I often send them links so that they can read it. So there are 3 common concerns with soy, right? And the first one refers to raw soybeans. If you read out on the internet that soy is bad for you, they'll say, well, it's got phytic acid and that can block mineral absorption. Ooh, it's bad for you and you're going to get less health. Well, what they don't tell you out there is that it's only in massive consumption of raw soybeans and only occurs in those animals that lack the digestive enzyme phytase. So there's another enzyme. It's only an issue for people who consume those foods to get a mineral in their diet in massive quantities, and that tends to be in developing countries and also has a genetic basis. So it can be supplemented, which would alleviate the concern, but it's really not an issue unless you lack the digestive enzyme phytase and you're eating massive amounts of raw soybeans and you're doing that to get minerals. Most of us aren't doing that. Then we'll have other people say that only soy that's fermented is healthy. That's because it's a process that is done with bacteria and yeast that removes the isoflavone. However, that's a lie because tofu is not fermented. It's a pure protein. If you want fermentation, that's really soy sauce and miso, which are great, but there's no protein content in them. So we don't have ours fermented, but the reason people do talk about fermentation as the only healthy soy is because of something I just said, isoflavone. Now, an isoflavone is like an antioxidant, right? And there's a lot of research saying isoflavones are good for you. But there is some research saying that in high doses, isoflavones can impact estrogen in your body. And if you have a cancer that's estrogen receptive, or you're a bodybuilder and you're worried about estrogen, well, people avoid soy. But the issue is we've removed our soy, the isoflavones from our soy. And it's really easy to do. It's not with hexane gas or anything like that. It's water. It's a water filtration process. So it's like making purified drinking water. So we remove our isoflavones from the soy. So if you are worried about fibroids, you are a bodybuilder, you don't have to worry. And then the third common concern is that it's going to impact your thyroid, and again, that's due to the isoflavones. So our soy is isoflavone free. So you go, okay, well, with all that controversy, why do we use it? Well, there's a number of reasons why we use it. First of all, if you do your research, you'll find out that people in Asia eat a lot of soy, and they tend to be healthier. Why is that? Well, adequate consumption of soy has been shown to help the body lower C-reactive protein, which is an indicator of heart disease and inflammation, and adequate consumption of soy can help the body lower cholesterol. And here's where I get the athletes. Isolated soy protein contains natural bioactive substances that enhance plasma antioxidant activity. So what does that mean in layman's terms? It helps you work out better. Isolated soy protein is also rich in glutamine and arginine. Remember, we just talked about arginine. Whereas whey protein doesn't have that, it has branched-chain amino acids. So we use soy in our shake not only because it's heart healthy, not only because it could help you work out better, but also studies show that it can help you build lean muscle equal to, if not slightly better than whey protein, and it's easily digested. So if you look at infant formula, you'll see a lot of it's using soy protein because it's so easy to digest. And as we were talking about the older people, it's easier for them too. So young or old alike, athletic or non-athletic, you can benefit from soy protein in your diet. And again, if you're worried about estrogen, just look for a brand that's isoflavone free. Now, we also use two forms of whey, and whey is great, again, for everybody because it's going to also help you build lean muscle. But not all whey is created equal. Ours is lactose-free. That's really important because such a large percent of the population, especially in the African-American community, are lactose intolerant. So we've removed the lactose from our whey, along with fat and carbs and sugars. And so it's a very pure protein. We use a brand new technology called whey hydrolysate. And this has been shown in clinical studies to help you burn more fat and build more lean muscle. The FDA actually lets one brand call themselves a fat loss accelerant because of the quality of the whey hydrolysate. And when you hear all these big terms, people get scared, right? They think it's chemical. It's not. It's a scientific term that refers to how pure the protein is, how much more absorbable it is versus a whey concentrate. So we use a soy isolate, very high quality, non-GMO, non-genetically modified, isoflavone-free, and a whey hydrolysate, lactose-free, super absorbable, and then we throw in a whey concentrate as well because whey concentrates are easily digested and work fast. So you're going to get this triple action, or we call it trizor protein blend in the Visalus shake. And again, the shake is lactose-free, gluten-free, and isoflavone-free. And that soy protein is going to give you the arginine and glutamine that you need. The whey protein is going to give you other amino acids that you need and are going to help you with exercise recovery. So it's because of the muscle building, muscle recovery, and amazing amino acids that I get a lot of athletes on our shake.
Audrey, this is Ron.
It's Alan again. I just wanted to interject here. Years ago, as a pharmacist, we dealt with several situations, particularly in muscle builders, because they were eating so much whey protein. And because they were eating so much, they were looking for a price point, not a quality. And eventually they would get digestive problems, and they'd get sick from their whey protein. And another thing, is, as you mentioned, whey protein has no arginine. So you're loading the body up with all this protein, and that arginine is so important for the absorption of amino acids as well as the cardiovascular system. So they were really hurting themselves in a lot of ways trying to help themselves.
Yeah, and if you eat too much low-quality protein consistently, and the key operative word is consistently, it could be very hard on the kidneys. It can deplete calcium from your body. So you're correct, and they load themselves up because they think they have to. And again, it's less is more. And unfortunately, in America, we tend to think more is better. And it's not. And one of the things when I do trainings with men is I say to them, look, here's my analogy for quality of protein. You can go buy your girlfriend a 5-carat diamond for $500. It's going to be a huge diamond, but it's going to be brown, and you're not going to see any glistening. It's not really what she wants. She wants the quality. She wants the one that sparkles and shines. So, yeah, it's quality that matters, not quantity.
Audrey, this is Ron. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you the questions that that we face all the time out in the field.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you one that you've already addressed. I've seen your video on it, but a lot of people on the line have not heard of it or have not seen the video. The first thing I'm going to ask you is this, because I've been asked this question before, and I really didn't know how to answer this question. I've been faced with the question, is it vegan friendly? That's one. And then the second question is, why sucralose? It still comes up. I know you did a video,
yep.
But if you would just talk about those two issues, I'd really appreciate it.
Our shake is vegetarian. It is not vegan. Our shake does use whey protein, which is derived from milk, and most vegans will not use it because they use no dairy. Now, there are the exceptions to every rule, but we are vegetarian. Vegans are less than 1% of the population, so we are looking into alternative shakes down the road for our vegan friends, but right now we're vegetarian. Now, the reason we use sucralose in our shake, and let me just be frank, sweeteners are the bane of my existence. If there was a perfect sweetener in the world, we would absolutely hands down use it, but there isn't. So let's start with the facts. The fact is there are so many diabetics, and as we've already heard, diabetics and Americans and the rest of the world are consuming way too much sugar. So to make our shake diabetic friendly, we knew we did not want to use sugar. So then people go, well, okay, why don't you use agave? Agave is a natural sweetener that doesn't spike the, insulin levels. And I go, well, here's the challenge when you're trying to formulate a weight management product. Agave has a lot of fructose. It's about 90% fructose, and fructose spikes hunger. So not something we really want in a diet product, which is also therefore why we don't use fructose. So if you do have a shake out there and you're looking at it, it says fructose, I wonder if you're going to get hungry from it. Now, some people go, okay, well, why don't you use xylitol or any one of the other sugar alcohols? Well, xylitol, and this is where it can be frustrating, just because it's natural doesn't mean it's safe. Xylitol can give 22 to 25% of the population diarrhea. So 1, 2, 3, diarrhea, 1, 2, 3. That's not something we wanted in our customer base. I could only imagine what the call center would say to me if we had that many people getting diarrhea. The other thing with xylitol is it's toxic or fatal to your dogs. To have the same amount of xylitol in our shake, it would actually kill a 40-pound dog. So we know that just because it's natural doesn't mean it's safe. Or I tell people we don't wander in the woods and eat mushrooms. We have to really be careful when we just assume that natural is better. Now, stevia has only recently been approved in the U.S., and it's going through its global approval process, but it's not as globally approved yet, and it's only been used for a very short period of time here in the United States. It does impart a bitter licorice aftertaste. And again, we've been working with it. We've been trying to make it taste good, but we can't. And we know that taste is one of the key reasons people will stay with a program. So if you have to choke it down, you're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to use it, and therefore you're not going to get the results. So we haven't found a way to make stevia taste good, but more importantly, it's not globally accepted. And there are some countries that are asking for more liver toxicity studies. So looking good, but I don't think all the studies are in. So then we go, okay, let's talk about sucralose, right? Now, sucralose has gotten a bad rap because people assume any artificial sweetener is bad for you, and mostly that's coming from aspartame. People that have allergies tend to have allergies to aspartame. It can give them headaches, amongst other things, because of the phenylalanine compounds. We don't use aspartame for this reason and others, including that when it's heated it can degrade. We use sucralose because it's diabetic friendly and it tastes good. But here's the fun fact, right? It's been used for over 25 years. It's in over 80 countries, and it's the only sweetener approved by the World Health Organization. So I say to people, okay, you don't trust the U.S. government, you don't trust the FDA because they approve Vioxx or Fen-Phen, so you're skeptical. Good, I'm glad you're skeptical. But there are 80 other countries with stricter regulations than ours that have approved sucralose, and I don't think you can get that kind of approval if it wasn't safe. There are over 110 peer-reviewed studies on it, and we know it's safe, and it's safe hot or cold, and doesn't have the same allergy concerns as other products, and it's diabetic friendly. And last but not least, we have 0.03 grams, a very tiny amount, about 1/4 of a diet soda worth in our shake. So if you look at a shake serving at 26 grams, and you do the math, 0.03 divided by 26, you can see that our shake is 99.99% natural by weight, and there's not a lot in there. So hopefully people will give it a try and really do their homework. Now, last but not least, it kills me that there's all this internet stuff, and we believe everything out on the internet, but people say that it's from DDT, that's similar to the DDT molecule. That's absolutely false, and I've got a couple websites out there that actually show you the molecules side by side. Oh, and I forgot one other one. And then, this one gets my hair on fire, is they say it's bad for you because it's chlorinated, and we assume that that means it's the swimming pool chlorine, which it's not. What they do to make sucralose is they take the sugar molecule and they attach it to a chloride. Chlorides are found in tomatoes and all sorts of fruits and vegetables. Chlorides help your intestinal digestive tract, your body's balance and fluids. So they're good for you. And the process of attaching those good-for-you chlorides to a sugar molecule is called chlorination. So there's a lot of confusion out there on the internet. It's sort of like that telephone game where you tell someone something and it spreads around. So whenever you read anything about that, just remember there's a lot of that telephone game going on.
Actually, I saw something on internet, and maybe other people have seen this too, but a study was done, and they found out that 50% of the health information that's on the internet is actually false.
I would bet it's even higher, because you should see the stuff people email me that I have to respond to. and it's sad. It's sad because I applaud people doing their homework, and I applaud them wanting to take charge of their health and learn more. It's just when I see statements like somebody said, oh, it was created by a college student in her bathroom who was working on a blah, blah, blah science project, that you got to sit there and go, do you think that's real? And do you really think that 80 plus countries, ministries of health and FDAs around the world and the World Health Organization would approve it if it really was created by somebody in their bathtub who happened to spill some bleach? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, there's some questions. I'm going to ask Alan and Dr. Dave if we're ready for any questions yet, unless they have some more of their own.
Oh no, by all means, let's take the questions from the field. Let's be sure that this recording is good for people to always go back to. I think we're doing very, very well. And just by the way, we've had people asking about the recording. It will be available yet on our site, so we'll let you all know about that after the presentation. So Ron, I think you'll be the best person to know which questions to ask. So go for it.
Okay, that'd be fine. And so here we go, Audrey. These are people that are on here with us, and quite frankly, we've just about maxed this out now. That's awesome. I have a question here, and I'm gonna leave the last name off, but Tiffany asked a question that the Visake, it tends to constipate her even when it's used with dairy. do you have any suggestions, what to drink the shake with? Because she truly wants to drink it, and she actually craves it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I do hear that now and then, but it really shouldn't cause constipation. We have a prebiotic fiber in the shake, a full serving of fiber as well. So if anything, people should get more regular and more comfortable than constipated. Now, we do know there's a number of reasons for constipation. The number one reason is dehydration. We don't get enough adequate intake of liquid. 74% of adults in America are dehydrated, and that will help add to the constipation. Lack of physical activity, changes in lifestyle, there are certain things that can impact it. Medications can all impact it. So what I like to tell people for constipation is make sure you drink 1 to 2 glasses of water between shakes, because that'll help you get enough fluid. Make sure you blend fruit into your shake because there's water in fruit, and you want to get that water right into the digestive tract to help ease the passage. And if that still doesn't work, then it could be that their body is sensitive to calcium, and they need to try a lower calcium liquid, maybe switch it to rice milk for a little while, or dial back the calcium. Be careful of sugary drinks too. I hear that those can add to it, and also if you're mixing your shake with sugar, it could give you a headache.
Okay. And Debbie has a question. If someone has a food allergy, let's say let's say she has a food allergy to whey. I mean, would this be highly unlikely to have some kind of reaction with our product if you have a food allergen, like to whey protein or anything?
No, it depends on what the allergy is to. If it's to lactose, because a lot of whey proteins have lactose, and that's what her allergy is to, then ours is lactose-free, and she could try it. If it's to casein, which is found in some forms of proteins, we don't have casein protein in ours. It may work. If it's truly to the protein itself, it may not. And so that's something she should probably talk to her doctor about and just see what they think is causing that allergy. And that will determine if she can use our shake. Most people have been able to use our shake.
I see. Okay. And let's see. Anything you have right now, Alan, after a couple of questions?
I'm really interested in the questions from the field, and people often ask that. So I have a couple of statistics that I remember learning way back when about protein, whey protein in particular, and Audrey's covered them. But when you remove the casein and you remove the lactose, you actually cover about 99.9% of the allergens or the allergies or the allergic effect to the whey protein. And something somebody can do, if they're really wondering if they might have a response to something, there's something we do in the field called a scratch test. And a scratch test is simply put a little bit of powder on your skin and scratch something through it. It doesn't have to be sharp. You're not trying to cut the skin. It's just, just take something, just put a little of the powder on an area of your skin and scratch something through it, like even I'm just going to say like a spoon or just something that you have in the kitchen. Just scratch it through the whey a couple of times so your skin gets a little bit red, and wait and see if it forms like a mosquito bite, that's called a wheal, then that means you would probably respond to it with an allergy. If you just get a little redness because you scratched yourself, you're not going to respond with an allergy. It's a very common test. We do it all the time in the medical profession. It's called a scratch test, and that way you're not consuming a bunch of stuff that's going to give you a problem. And so that's something they can do, and Audrey agrees with that. And for the gal with the constipation, and if I heard right, she's mixing it with milk.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm agreeing. I totally agree with Audrey that she might want to try lactose-free milk, or she might want to try some other form of that. Quite often, people will get constipated from milk because milk has casein in it, and casein depending on what happened when they were kids, but casein is very reactive in the intestinal tract and can cause those problems in some people and older people as well. So those are common things, but they're very easy to get around.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's a great question, Audrey. I just found it on here. It's about the Vitrum. Could you explain what the Vitrum is, how it affects the shake, what it does in our body, and does it have the ability to cause hot flushes or sweating?
Okay. The Vitrum is actually my personal favorite product. I travel with it because we know we created it to help curb hunger. We know that one of the key reasons diet fail is people get hungry, and it makes sense. If you're eating 3,000 calories a day and you cut back to 2,200, you might be hungry for a few days. So we created this, and you can mix it as a powder into your shake or into a beverage, neuro, iced tea, anything you really want to help curb hunger between meals. Now, it really helps me when I mix it into my shake. Now, it's natural-based. It's got no caffeine, no stimulants in it, so it shouldn't cause hot flashes, shouldn't make your heart race, shouldn't do any of that. It's just going to help curb your hunger and keep you from cheating on your diet. So not sure why they thought it helped them, but it's not going to do anything to your hot flashes. It's not going to cause your heart to race. Now, what's in it? There is acetyl L-tyrosine, is going to help with mood. L-theanine is going to calm you down a little bit because we know that when people diet, they can stress out. And then we have Garcinia gambosia. It's a fruit extract, going to help curb hunger, keep your blood sugars level. We have chromium in it. There's a lot of great things in there that help your blood sugar stay level, help keep you from feeling hungry. So it's got no caffeine, no stimulants.
Now, Audrey, I heard you say something there about mood.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of reiterate how does it affect your mood? What is it about this shake and the Vitrum? How does it affect the mood? What does it do?
Well, it's funny, but there's a lot of science to food and things that make you feel good. So, for example, chocolate, right? A lot of women will eat chocolate and they'll just feel happier. And it's actually physically based in science. There are elements of chocolate that are going to help you just feel so amazingly good. And you don't need the sugar and the fat with it. So we have cocamine, chacamine in our Vislim. It's going to help with that. And then the other ingredient we have in Vitrum is the L-theanine. These are other amino acids that are going to help you just feel good, right? So it's not going to alter your mood. We're not going to compete with your antidepressant if you're on one. And we can't say that we will work that way because we're a nutritional supplement. We're not a drug. But it supports a healthy mood. And that's really important because there are studies out there that show that when you have a craving, most cravings happen when you're a little sad, a little lonely, a little blue. And what we do is then we turn to food for comfort. And so if we can actually get some of these ingredients into you and help you feel good without having to eat the food, well, then you're going to stick to your diet plan and get better results and power through maybe that momentary, just like I'm just not feeling great today kind of thing.
Okay, so that answers it for me.
Okay,
and then another question.
Oh, sorry, Ron, because I have some questions too.
Okay, go ahead.
One of the questions is there cysteine in the soy protein?
Cysteine?
The amino acid.
Oh, yeah. We've got every amino acid in the shake. So there's 20 amino acids. There's 20 different ones in the shake.
Yeah, one of the statistics that I saw on soy protein is one of the richest forms of naturally occurring amino acid cysteine, and cysteine is the limiting factor in the creation of glutathione in our body. So it's really, really important to our immune system. But,
yeah, and glutathione is also important to helping you feel younger. Really good.
Right. And and soy protein actually provides bioavailable cysteine. It's one of the richest sources. And then also somebody's asking a question about the NAC in the vitamins, or the N-acetyl cysteine.
N-acetyl cysteine is a great. Well, what's the question?
Well, the question is there a comment on N-acetyl cysteine? One of the things that I talk about sometimes to people is when you acylate molecules, they actually cross the blood-brain barrier. That's why you do that. The Tylenol and so on is to get it to where it needs to be. And so we know that acylating cysteine, of course, gets that amino acid across the intestinal tract really fast. There's not very much. I think it's only 50 milligrams in your.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not very much at all. And N-acetyl cysteine in high doses can have some problems with intestinal tract discomfort, gas, bloating, et cetera. So, but I just looked at the label here. 50 milligrams is not going to cause any problem.
Nope. Okay, cool. Well, you just answered that for me. Thank you.
Here's what
and in terms of the amino acids, I pulled up our list. There's in the amino acids within whey versus soy. Soy has got a lot more cysteine. It's also got, let's see, alanine, arginine, aspartic acid, cysteine. It's very high in glutamic acid, leucine, really great ingredient, phenylalanine, serine, tryptophan. There's all of them in there. This arginine's got 6,700 milligrams per 100 grams of soy, so it's a pretty good amino acid breakdown.
Audrey, here's a question I see, and it's I'm just going to read it as it's written.
Okay.
Why is it that children can drink the shakes, but pregnant women should not?
Okay.
And I guess that's the question.
Well, we actually have the warning on there for a couple of reasons. One, women can absolutely have a shake a day for breakfast if they're pregnant or breastfeeding. It's a great source of nutrition, calcium, fiber, and more. The issue is we do not want any woman thinking that she can lose weight while pregnant or breastfeeding, because her baby, if she's breastfeeding or pregnant, needs more calories. And so if she tries to lose weight while she's pregnant or breastfeeding, she's actually starving her child. So a shake a day for breakfast is great, but do not try and lose weight. No 2 shakes a day to melt the pounds away. That's also why we say no Vitrum, no Vislim, because if you think about it logically, babies don't need help with metabolism, and babies don't need help with hunger control. So if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, wait until you're done breastfeeding, and then you can take all of the products. But until then, just a shake a day, great for breakfast, great for snack.
Very good, very good. And Dr. Dave, I'm sure after all answering the questions that she's answered, I'm sure you have something you'd like to add at this point.
Sure. This is all fascinating. Keep going. This is really good stuff. My interest always has been how the body, how this can work well with the body, and how you can do it on a long-term basis. And I think you're asking the important question.
Okay. Well, Audrey, I'll tell you what, we've been going for an hour. I know your time was very, very valuable, and we appreciate everything you're doing. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I would like to, if you have the time, I'd like to jump from the shakes and just go to our vitamins and just give us a brief synopsis of the ViPack and how important that is for our body.
All right. Well, the interesting thing is there was a study done by the U.S. government, actually 2 different studies over a span of about 2 years. They studied 23,000 people. So I only point that out because it's a large sample size. If you think we can predict who's going to win the presidential race with 1,000 people, well, 23,000 is pretty good sample size. What they found out of that sample size is most of us need help with our diet. 94% of us don't get enough vitamin E in our diet. Vitamin E is great for wound healing, all sorts of other benefits. 1/3 of us don't get enough vitamin C. Almost 2/3 of us don't get enough vitamin A. Helps with night vision and all sorts of things. So we know we're not getting enough nutrition, and more importantly, it's hard to get it from food alone. So you should take a supplement. Everybody should. It's a great thing to do. Again, not all supplements are created equal. The ViPack is unique for a number of reasons. First, we have chelated vitamins and minerals. What that means is, as we were talking, amino acids are perfect for you. Every ingredient is tagged to an amino acid, and that helps make it more absorbable into your body. So you're going to get more benefit for your buck. Then we have an omega. Now, a lot of fish oils on the market, but ours is a very robust fish oil, and it's double distilled at the molecular level. So you don't have to worry about toxins or PCBs or any of that stuff you hear about fish oils. And then our fish oil has other oils with it to make it really robust. We have pumpkin seed, evening primrose oil, flaxseed. So it's a really robust omega. What does that mean? It's a ratio of 12 to 1, 3 to 6s. Most diets in America are the opposite, and too much 6s can be bad for you. So ours is a very robust omega and really helpful, helps every cell in your body. And also if you're trying to lose weight, there are studies that show that healthy fats in your diet helps you lose weight. Then we have our supercharged antioxidant. We have 26 different antioxidants, and we actually tested them versus several competitors and showed that we have a much higher antioxidant capacity. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you think about aging, sort of like, cutting an apple open and the apple starts to turn brown, that's oxidation. That's what's happening to your cells as you get older, as you get stressed, as you live in polluted areas. And so it's going to help your cells age faster. If you work out, this is a funny thing, if you work out, you're actually releasing more of those oxidation into your body, free radicals, and that's why athletes can get sick more often than normal people who don't work out as much. So antioxidants are very important in helping your body defend itself from aging and keeping you from turning rusty. That's kind of how I like to describe it. And then last but not least, we have a patented anti-aging energy formula. And this one has got all kinds of great ingredients in it that work at the cellular level. Dr. Seidman, the inventor of this one, has a patent on it. And in his research, because he is an ear, nose, and throat surgeon, he did studies on the ears. It makes sense. And he was able to show that this nutrient helped reverse age-related hearing loss by 7 to 12 decibels. So I tell you to people, if it could do that for your hearing, think of all the benefits you're going to get from it. I know I personally sleep much better when I'm on that product, and I don't when I'm not. But it's very powerful. So not all vitamins and supplements are created equal. Ours are chelated, distilled, purified, and also patented. So if you have time, I encourage everybody to look at those as well.
That's awesome. My analogy is really simple. When people ask me, okay, I'm going to get on the shake, but I'm not going to get on the vitamins, for lack of a better term, I just put it in an analogy of this. Look, if you drive a car, you can't just put gas and no oil in it. It's not going to work. They have to work together to get the full benefit for it to work. So it's kind of like the shake mix and the BiPAC. You need to be doing them together. Would that be a
yeah, if you can afford it. They were designed to work together.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And then one last question. Any vitamin K issues?
A lot of people are on blood thinners these days, and so they're told to watch vitamin K, so that it doesn't counteract the effect of the blood thinner. We have in our shake a very tiny 24 micrograms of vitamin K. That's less than the amount your gut makes on its own every day. So people on blood thinners should be just fine on our shake. Now, on the ViPAC, we want you to talk to your doctor absolutely before taking the product, because some of the herbs in the ViPAC are going to help thin the blood, and that's a good thing for most of us. But if you're on a blood thinner, we don't want it to get too thin. So don't take the ViPAC till you talk to your doctor, and make sure that your doctor will work with you to lower your medication. So make sure you push back on your doctor and say, no, I want to take this product. You're going to help me figure out what the correct dosage is so I can take the product.
Very good, very good. Dr. Dave, Alan, I want to thank everybody for being here. We've taken a lot of time on Audrey's evening. I appreciate her doing this. Dr. David and Alan, if you have any closing statements or closing questions, can we go ahead and do that, please?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to Audrey. This is great information. I'm really glad we did this call. It's covered a lot of questions that people are asking, and I thank you for your time, Audrey. And David, I thank you for arranging to do this and recording it and making it available to people. I think it's going to have a huge impact on the lives of many people moving forward. Thank you very much to all of you.
And Dr. Dave?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ron and Alan, thank you so much for, I know you put a lot of work into doing this, and of course promoting and convincing Audrey to take some time out of a busy schedule. And Audrey, this has been absolutely fantastic. This has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. I think this will be a very treasured recording, one of our best on the topic, and we will, with your permission, we are recording this. It will be available on our site. And
oh, sure. Glad to help.
Great. And hopefully, this won't be the last time we're going to do this kind of presentation. Can we count on getting you back on sometime in the future?
Absolutely. If you talk to Ron, he can tell you, I get so excited about the ingredients and the benefits of our products that I could go on for hours, so I would love to chat again.
Ron, did you hear that? You stopped.
I did hear that, but I did hear that, but I know she has a life. I know she has other things to do, and she likes to get herself started. So if it's 9 here, I know it's 7-11 there. So that's a perfect number, 7-11. But Audrey, I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart, Dr. Dave. Thank you for letting us use this platform. Alan, I appreciate you so much. And you know me, Audrey, when I see you in Miami, if you're going to Miami, you know I always come out and give you a big hug.
Well, I'll be there tomorrow night, so I look forward to it.
Absolutely. And one more question from my wife. She has a special request from Belinda. Hold on 1 second.
Why do we lose so much more weight when we take the vitamin regimen with the
She wants to know, Audrey.
Why do you lose more weight when you're on both products? Well, it's like somebody was saying earlier, if you've got the right amount of fuel in your car, it's all just going to work better. And the shake gives you a nice amount of vitamins and minerals, but you're going to get more on the ViPack. You're going to get that omega, and I had said before, there are studies that show that you're going to lose better weight with an omega, especially if you work out, than without it. So the omega,
and I'll give you the example.
Yep, and the anti-age and energy formula, again, if it can help you reverse age-related hearing loss, it's helping your cells all function a little bit happier and cleaning out the garbage that's in them and keeping them feeling youthful and vigorous, and that's all going to feed into your whole body transformation.
Very good. Now, in closing, this is what I'd like to say. There is literally hundreds of people on this phone call, and I know there's some people on this phone call that are not involved with this company as of yet. So what I'm going to tell you is this. Whoever invited you to this webinar / phone call, if you have interest in our products and you want to get started on the products, please get with the person that brought you here. Get with that person that brought you here. And with that being said, Audrey, again, thank you. Dr. Dave, thank you. Alan, thank you. Audrey, I'll see you in Miami in a couple of days. Everybody have a fantastic night. God bless. We'll do this again really soon.
Thanks, Ron.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you. Good night.